NaOH, that's our base. You notice the base is clear. This next one right here is your acid. So acid's going to be on the right, base is going to be on the left. Got it? I'm going to take 2 blank beakers. I'm not going to be extremely accurate here. Just going to see what actually happens. On the first beaker, on your left, I'm going to add universal indicator. So the green liquid. Just a different indicator, very similar to what we did yesterday. The one on the other side, I'm going to add phenylalanine. You don't need much of it. This is not an acid or a base. It doesn't actually get used up in the reaction. Okay? All it does is make a color change. So notice that it doesn't really matter what order you do. This is one of your questions on your test. You can do an acid to a base or a base to an acid. It doesn't really matter. We're going to do NaOH in the first beaker. That's in green. I'm going to add approximately 5 milliliters. So, 5 milliliters of NaOH will go in the green. Notice the color change, right? Purple, right? That's because the base has a color change a little bit. As I add my acid to it, watch the color change. It's very similar to what I did yesterday. You notice here I'm adding my base first. You can actually see it getting clearer. You see a little reddish, it's a little hard to see.
Right there is where you have neutralization between the acid and the base.
See that red there? That's because the acid is combining with your base. So swirling it around. And I got to a yellow. When it's completely yellowish orange, that means I have the exact same amount of acid to it. Pretty close to it. Now you see it's like an orange red, right? If I get all the way to red, that means I added too much acid. So
Right here, your acid equals your base approximately in terms of the amount of moles of acid and moles of base.
this one actually determines pHs in between acids and bases. Right? Okay. The next one we're going to do is phenylalanine. This is a very similar lab from before, from yesterday. Instead of vinegar, I'm using citric acid. So this one, I'll put the citric acid in first. Get about 5 milliliters. These are both 1 molar, by the way. We calculated it out this morning. So here's our citric acid, 5 milliliters approximately of 1 molar.
If I add 1 molar of citric acid, so 1 molar of acid, and let's say I add 5 milliliters, then I'm going to need the exact same amount of base, assuming, and I do use this 1 molar of base, I'm going to also need approximately 5 milliliters of base to make it neutral.
When I add my base to the acid, you notice right now it's clear? It's the same experiment yesterday, right? As I add more and more base to it, it neutralizes it. Citric acid and vinegar, if it's the same molarity, it's actually the exact same calculations. You just figure out the amount of volume is until it stays pinkish purple. Again, I'm doing it very quickly just for demonstration here, but it looks like we're really close to hitting neutralization.
Typically when you're doing a titration lab, you want to use a dropper, make it go a drop at a time, swirl it, so you can get as accurate as possible here. You want to get the exact amount of base as volume to neutralize your acid.